What's going on, everyone? This is Vicente.
And this is Izzy.
And welcome to our Scream 6 revisit. Not a review, but a revisit. So earlier in the year in March when Scream 6 was released, me and Izzy actually reviewed this movie and our feelings have changed quite a little bit. I still think it's the best sequel out of the entire Scream franchise, but the third act is very, very underwhelming.
Yeah, the third act is my least favorite within the franchise, but the movie as a whole is really good.
It's really good. We get the returning cast of our core four, Tara Carpenter, Sam Carpenter, Chad, and Mindy. Basically, the requel Woodsboro survivors, followed by a new cast. And I actually do like the new cast. Granted, I still think the killer reveal was way too obvious for two of them. The third one kind of took me by surprise, but not like a good surprise, kind of like a what the fuck, we already seen this happen in Scream 3.
Yeah, it was an odd ending to such a good movie that had such good momentum to have this ending. It was just like, really, it was shocking to me.
Because this movie starts out really fucking good from the opening scene into how scary this Ghostface is, because this Ghostface doesn't fucking play. This man's wielding around a fucking shotgun, killing people in the streets. He does not give a fuck. And then you come to the third act to like the whole reveal thing and motivation. That's when the movie kind of just falls flat and it plays it way too safe to where I don't feel any stakes. And it don't even get me mentioned on fucking Gale in this movie.
Yeah, we're not going to talk about Gale yet.
Yeah, no, that's one of our negatives. But Izzy, what would you rate Scream 6?
For me, I would give 6 a solid 8.
Solid 8. I would give this movie an 8.9 out of 10. It's a good movie. It's just a third act. That's what kills it for me, because you start out really good, you have a strong premise, and you have good character development, and then all of a sudden that whole third act just plays way too safe, and it's a little bit too much like Scream 2's third act, and then it just kind of sucks.
Yeah, it plays it way too safe and way too familiar for being such an awesome original story in the beginning.
And then before we get started with our positives, I am going to say this, even though this movie didn't have Sidney Prescott, I still think it was a very good movie.
Yes, it didn't need her. It was a good movie by itself.
Yeah, you could have found some way, but I just think the way her story was in Scream 5, it just wrapped everything up so perfectly. She has her happy ending. All right, should we get started with our positives?
I think we should.
And starting with our first positive, the opening scene is unique and fucking intense. Now, I would say this is up there when it comes to opening scenes in the Scream franchise. It's really fucking good. Not as good as the opening scene in the original movie, but this one was good. And so it starts out with Samara Weaving's character. She's a professor at the university that our characters are attending to. And she gets a call from her blind date, but then it turns threatening because she goes down an alleyway and gets fucking brutalized by Ghostface. But it just doesn't end there, because Ghostface says, "Now I see something red," and literally fucking slashes her. And that opening scene could end right then and there. And then Ghostface takes off his mask, and it's like, what the fuck? Did we just meet one of the new killers? And it's revealed that one of the killers is Jason, played by Tony Reveille. He was Flash Thompson in the MCU Spider-Man movies, and I just love that opening scene, but then it gets even more crazier. And so we see him go back to his apartment, and he runs into Tara and their friends. And so their plan is, him and his friend Greg, is to honor Richie and Amber's killings from the requel Woodsboro murders and try to kill the core four. And so Jason goes to their apartment, washes away the evidence, puts his mask into like a monument for the Stab franchise, and he gets a call who he thinks is Greg, but it's the Ghostface voice. But Ghostface on the other line is acting like he's Greg. And then, they play a game of hot and cold. And then when Jason gets to the fucking fridge and opens that fridge door, he sees Greg is fucking dismembered, guts in there, head cut off and everything. And right behind him, the new Ghostface just pops out and just fucking brutalizes him. And for this opening scene, holy shit.
Yeah, I was not expecting this opening scene when walking into this theater. It was such a shock and change, but also was really nice to the Scream franchise.
Yeah, because I think this opening scene was kind of teasing the fact that what if in the opening scene we know who one of the Ghostfaces is? Because this is a theory and like something that Scream fans want to see, that we know who one of the killers is. Now, the whole movie you try to figure out who their partner is, but in reality, it wouldn't really work just because I feel like that would kind of kill the movie. But the fact that we're led to believe that we're literally going to follow this killer and see how they're going to pull it off, and then to introduce a whole nother group of Ghostface just fucking murder Jason in his apartment was just fucking crazy. I know Izzy kind of wants to talk about the Reddit group about the whole "It might connect to Scream 7" cult.
Yeah, so basically the whole Reddit storyline was something to connect with Stu Macher. And it's kind of a tease for it, and so I'm really hoping that they do it for Scream 7, especially if they do want to end up bringing Stu Macher back.
Yeah, because Jason mentions that they met Amber and Richie on a Reddit group, a little Reddit group that they're part of, so maybe that could be a possible cult storyline for Scream 7. They were going to do in the Scream 3 with Stu Macher, but, Columbine happened, but I honestly think they can do it. Even the marketing for this movie made it seem like there was going to be a whole cult thing, and there was a shrine and everything, so I'm thinking maybe it's a little tease for the next installment, but who knows. But opening scene, fucking intense and fucking unique.
Yeah, I have to. It was amazing.
Yeah, and then now going on to our second positive, the New York setting is fucking awesome, and it's used to its advantage. Now, like we said, the New York setting is so awesome, like, the fact that Ghostface can literally get away to any alleyway or apartment was just fucking insane. And then the whole ladder scene, we're going to show a clip right now to where they're literally crossing the ladder from building to building, was fucking intense. And I remember in our theater, it had everyone just like gasping for air and like screaming.
Yeah, I remember the screams going through the theater. But back to the New York setting. The New York setting is definitely used to its full potential.
Oh my god, yeah.
I don't think there's anything they didn't use. And, like, I think my favorite scene, including New York, was the bodega scene.
Oh, yeah, we're going to get to that on our positive list, because I feel like it's its own positive. But I do like how they didn't just really do like a college campus. They used the entirety of New York to its advantage, whether it's a subway scene, a bodega scene, or just apartment to apartment. It was just fucking intense. And I kind of hope that Scream keeps up with different locations, because you can make a lot of things unique when you do a good location setting.
Yeah, I think having a new location would be cool, but the question is where.
Yeah, that's the thing, too. All right, now moving on to our third positive, the return of Kirby-Reed. I know Izzy fucking was happy when she saw Kirby-Reed appear in the movie, and I was too, because we were led to believe that her character died in Scream 4, and without Wes Craven, people thought the Scream franchise was just going to be dead, and so it was just easier for people to accept that Kirby died. But then there's an Easter egg in Scream 5 that kind of reveals that she lived in Scream 4, and for her to come back in Scream 6, I think she fits the story perfectly. She's an FBI agent just trying to help out.
Exactly, and I think the way that they brought her back was so nonchalant. It was just like, hey, I'm here because I'm interested in the case, and it turns out, like, she knows Sam, because we didn't know that, and the fact...
Yeah, I forgot. They went to high school together because Kirby was a senior when Sam was a freshman when the events of Scream 4 happened. And what I like how they still keep her nerdiness to her character. When I know Izzy loves this scene when Mindy and Kirby are kind of quizzing each other on horror movies, and they have that little moment. I know that makes Izzy happy.
Yeah, and then they talk about the TV with Stu Macher and whether or not he's dead. And like, it just, because not only does it go into the franchise, but also us as fans, because we also wonder that.
Exactly, yeah. And so I just like that little moment they have. And honestly, with the way Kirby returned, I liked it, and I hope she comes back in Scream 7. But if not, I'm just happy that we at least got the return of Kirby-Reed.
Yeah.
And, Hayden Panettiere, she's awesome. I love her. I know she was excited to come back to the franchise, even though she thought her character died. Her character kind of, quote-unquote, died, but then she was revived later at the hospital. So I love it. I think she was a badass in this movie. Although, I don't like how they tried setting her up as a killer. It made it seem like she was, like, kind of a loose cannon. I didn't like that whole aspect.
Yeah, I didn't like that either. I thought that was really thrown out there, but it kind of made sense with the ending, but still, I didn't like it.
Yeah, but Kirby-Reed, fucking badass. All right, now starting over with our fourth positive, Melissa Barrera brings her A-game as Sam Carpenter. Now, in Scream 5, she was, like, I don't want to say she was bad, but, like, I can't honestly really care about her character. Her acting was, like, hit or miss, basically. But in this movie, she brings her fucking A-game. She is worthy of being a final girl.
Yeah, her acting in Scream 5 wasn't my favorite, but in this movie, she definitely brings it, and she plays it off so well. She plays such a badass with her characters, and the bonds with their friends and sisters are just, like, over the top, and I really enjoyed her character in this movie.
And there's a scene in this movie to where the core four are together at the dinner table, and Chad tells her, no one at this table hates you, we all love you, we all support you. Fun fact, the directors ad-lib that whole scene, because in reality, people came after Melissa Barrera for acting in Scream 5, and that's totally fucking stupid, because she's literally doing what the script tells her. So don't go attack actors. Don't. It's an asshole move. And so they wanted to ad-lib that whole fucking scene. So when Chad is telling her that they all love her, that's actually Mason Gooding, Jasmine Savoy Brown, and Jenna Ortega telling her straight up that we all love you and support you. And I think that's just fucking awesome. Because of all the bullshit that she got, the bullshit criticism, not actual criticism, she got in Scream 5 was so unwarranted. But in this movie, she shut up all the fucking haters. Because she perfectly balances being a badass, but then also almost kind of losing it because we see her in therapy.
Mm-hmm. And just, it's so sad to see people attack actors that way. Mm-hmm. And it makes me so happy that the directors put that scene in for her. Mm-hmm. Because it probably meant so much for her. And it shows how the family of actors care about her.
Mm-hmm. And she's just so fucking badass in this movie. And so I'm glad she fucking redeemed herself in this movie because I think she's worthy to carry on this franchise and be titled Final Girl.
Oh, yeah.
And speaking of Core 4, that's actually positive number 5, the Core 4. Now, Izzy, do you want to talk a little bit about Mindy in this movie? Because I know you love Mindy.
So, I love Mindy. Mindy's my favorite in this character. I will say I liked her in Scream 5 more than I liked her in Scream 6. Mm-hmm. And I just think it's just that she didn't have enough screen time in this movie, but her character in this one is still amazing. Yeah. She still goes over all the rules and gives us those randiness, talking about requels.
Yeah, and I love it. She goes over that now they're part of a franchise. No longer sequels exist, just a franchise. Before I get into Chad, let's talk about Jenna Ortega's character, Tara. She's even badass in this fucking movie, and I like how she just wants to move past the trauma. While Sam wants her to go to therapy, it's understandable that Tara just kind of wants to move past it, and I don't blame her. You know, for people that went through something traumatic in real life, some people honestly just kind of want to just breathe through it, just forget about it. But in this movie, when she is fighting off Ghostface, she's whooping ass. Compared to the Scream 5, she was like getting fucking stabbed here and there. But in this one, she's whooping ass. So I like to think that she actually took self-defense classes.
Yeah, she really, even though the other movie she was a badass, this one she really shows it. And it just shows how much she's prepared for this.
Yeah, and we talked about Sam Carpenter. Now let's talk about my main fucking man, Chad, played by Mason Gooding. Chad was the fucking MVP of this movie for me. He was just badass, and I like how throughout the production of this movie, they said that Chad was the heart of this movie, and he was. He was basically their voice of reasoning and the heart and emotion in this movie. He was fucking cool. And then there's a scene we're going to show right now to where he fucking punches Ghostface and just fighting him off. I'm like, dude, this man got fucking hands. He's like tackling him, hitting him with the camera. I was going to hit him with the popcorn bucket thing. Chad was the MVP for this movie for me.
Yeah, he was. He did not care. If he could protect his friends, he did it.
And man, we all need a friend like Chad. Actually, I do like the romance between Tara and Chad because it feels natural. I mean, I never saw it coming, but when it happened, I was like, oh, that's cute because it just felt natural.
It really did. I wasn't expecting it either, but I thought it was really good. I think it goes together.
Yeah, it does perfectly, like peanut butter and jelly. And so the Core 4, I would say that this movie literally cements them to be worthy to carry on the legacy of this franchise.
It really does.
All right, and now moving on to our 6th positive, the bodega scene and subway scene. Holy shit. This is what we mean by Ghostface does not give a fuck in this movie. He will hunt your ass down. So the subway scene we're going to show right now, this man gave no fucks. He was stabbing people, chasing Tara and Sam, and then he gets to jump on the guy with the shotgun. And this man said, fuck the knife, it's time to get the strap. And this man was just boom, boom with the shotgun. And what's funny is that me and Izzy never saw a trailer for this movie because we wanted to go in blindly. So best believe when we saw this scene, we were like, oh shit, how's this gonna happen?
Yeah, we were not expecting the bodega scene at all, and just the fact he was just killing people left and right. And then he brings out a shotgun. It's like, oh shit. And this is what we mean by the movie being so good, because this is something we never seen in the Scream franchise.
And like people bitched about, because there's images that came out, people bitched about Ghostface having a gun. Ghostface uses a gun at the end when they reveal, so it's not that far out of logic. And come on, dude, after so many attempts, you would think a Ghostface would be smart enough to bring a gun. I told Izzy, imagine how much scarier it would have been if this dude kept the fucking shotgun.
Right?
And then next time we ran into it, just boom! That wouldn't suck. Now, the subway scene, Izzy, what did you like more, the subway scene or the bodega scene?
Bodega scene all the way.
Yeah, I did too, but the subway scene is so fucking intense. So this movie's so meta too, because it's taking place during Halloween in New York, and we get all these Easter eggs. We see Samara Weaving's character from Ready or Not dressed as a bride, and we see characters like Michael Myers, Freddy Krueger, Pinhead. There's all these fun Easter eggs, and then we see a bunch of people dressed up like Ghostface, and holy shit, we didn't know who was going to get stabbed, and Mindy ended up getting stabbed.
Yeah, it was really mysterious the whole time, and it kept you on your toes the entire time. And it was worse when they got separated in the subway.
Oh my god, yeah, that's like the worst fucking thing that could have happened, getting separated on the subway. But it's so scary because, like, you can get stabbed and no one won't be able to help you because it'd be so quick and done. And then what makes it even scarier is that all these people in Ghostface costumes are literally looking at them, so you don't know who's real and who's like just a cosplayer. And it's so fucking scary and intense. And then, you know, Chad, Tara, Sam, and Sam's boyfriend are safe and stuff. And then we get Ethan and Mindy on the other subway train. And holy shit, I felt so bad for Mindy. And I think what's worse is that, like, she got stabbed on a subway. That's infection waiting to happen just from the whole subway. It's all dirty. Ugh.
Yeah, I know. I can you just imagine how infectious that could be?
Yeah, like, oh man, fuck all that. But yeah, subway scene, bodega scene, easily the highlights of this movie.
Oh yeah. Which one was your favorite?
Bodega scene for sure. Scene? Oh my god, yeah. It's the fact that this man pulled out a strap and was ready to go fucking go to town.
And this isn't saying the subway scene wasn't good, because it was really good.
It was intense.
Kept you on your toes.
It was intense, but with this bodega scene, holy fucking shit. Like, this is straight murder and the fucking murder in the public right there. At least in the subway, you can get away with it. Bodega, oh, damn, you're going to get caught, but Ghostface gave no fucks.
Yeah.
All right, and now moving on to our last positive. Despite Neve Campbell not being in this movie, it still works as a good Scream movie. And so the whole story is that Neve Campbell thought she deserved a bigger pay, and I agree. She's literally the face of the franchise. How are you not going to pay Neve Campbell for being Sidney Prescott? And this isn't Radio Silence's fault. This is the higher ups. So don't go blame Radio Silence, because he wanted her. And I think they were willing to pay out of their pocket for her, but all bullshit happened and stuff. But they explained that she went into hiding, and honestly, even though she's not in it, and I love Neve Campbell, y'all know how much I love Sidney Prescott, I still think it works really good, and you don't really need Sidney Prescott no more.
Yeah, it made so much sense in the movie when they mentioned her that one time that she went in hiding. It made so much sense to her character, because why would she put herself in front of the threat?
Yeah. And she has a family and everything. She's happy with Mark. Even Gail says a good line in this movie that I actually agree with. Sydney has her happy ending and she deserves it. And honestly, as much as even though I do miss Sidney Prescott in these movies, would I be opposed if she never returned? No, because her story wrapped perfectly. Now, if you're going to do that Cole Ghostface storyline in Scream 7 and have Stu Macher come back, then I definitely think that you should have Sidney come back for one last showdown.
Yeah, especially if you're going to bring Stu back, you have to bring Sidney back.
Oh, yeah. And now we're done with our positives, and this movie did have negatives that we actually did see now on a rewatch to the first time. And now starting out with our first negative, and we mentioned it, the third act is just very underwhelming. We don't like the killer reveal, and we don't like their motivation. So this is what we mean by it plays so much like Scream 2. It's kind of bad enough that they're all at a university, whatever, characters have to evolve and grow. But it's the fact that literally their motivation and the reveal is exactly like Scream 2. So it's revealed that there's 3 killers, Detective Bailey, Quinn, and Ethan, but they're related to Richie. And so Detective Bailey is Richie's dad, and Quinn and Ethan are his little siblings. And it's so much like Mrs. Loomis from Scream 2 that it just sucks. And then the whole thing is that they know that Richie, committed the murders. But then it's the fact that they killed Richie, that Sam killed Richie. And it's just so dumb. Like, I don't like it. I think a better motive would have been, like, they truly believe that Sam orchestrated the killings and framed Richie. To me, yeah, it's so, like, revenge plotline, but at least I could have rocked with that.
Yeah, I think that would have been a much better storyline, and it was too safe. It was too much like Scream 2, and it felt really off for how strong this movie was going for me. That's my downfall with this, is it felt like such a short third act that...
Yeah, it sucks. Okay, here's the thing. I didn't like the reveal. I did not like him. So I figured Detective Bailey, because who else is going to be able to handle a fucking shotgun like that? The way Ghostface was handling it, that's just too obvious. And Ethan, dude, literally, this man just needed the right... He was a killer. We all knew he was a killer. The only one that shocked me was Quinn. But even then, it wasn't like a good shock. It was just like, dude, so she faked her death like Roman Bridger in Scream 3? At least in Roman Bridger's fake death in Scream 3, it was somewhat believable. And this one, even then, it's like, that's hella dumb because... And then Detective Bailey says, oh, he got there on the scene fast enough, and he swapped the body with a fresh one, that wouldn't really work because forensic would see that this isn't Quinn, this is someone else. I just hate it. And then the whole third act just kind of sucks because there's a scene to where Sam is literally running towards Detective Bailey. We're going to show the scene right now. And Detective Bailey has a fucking gun in his hand. You're telling me that he didn't stop to think, oh, let me use this gun. And of course they're doing their whole monologue and everything, but I don't like it. It's playing it way too safe like Scream 2. It feels too much like Scream 2. Not that it's a bad thing, but it's like when you go from the beginning and middle of this movie to where it's just fucking intense, and then just completely plays it way too safe and unoriginal, and Act 3 just sucks.
Yeah, it's just very anticlimactic, the whole
Yes, that's how I would describe it. Yes, very anticlimactic. It sucks, and Ghostface was so scary in this movie, but then when it comes to Act 3 and the whole reveal, I'm like, whatever,
Yeah.
It sucks. I knew who were the killers, except for one of them, but even then, Quinn, I was like, whatever, it's just fucking stupid. And the fact that she killed Gail's boyfriend when Gail's boyfriend was kind of a buff dude, I'm like, I call bullshit on that.
Exactly. The killers didn't make sense.
Yeah, it's just too much like Mrs. Loomis's plotline in Scream 2, but at this point, it's whatever. Who isn't going to come for fucking killings from families?
True.
All right, now moving on to our second negative, Galeweathers. I know Izzy wants to talk about this.
Oh my god. I mean, I can understand why they brought her back because they're in New York, which is where Gail is living now.
Isa, if you're watching this, I know you are. I know you and Izzy hate Gail. I'm going to show you this clip. I know you'll watch it, but I'll probably tag you in this clip on TikTok. But go ahead, because I know you and Izzy really hate Gail.
And so when they meet her character for the first time in this movie, they talk about how basically she wrote another freaking book.
Even though in Scream 5, she literally promised Sidney and Sam that she wasn't going to write a book about the killings. It was literally going to be about Dewey, about his life and everything. And just to see Gail evolve from this heartless bitch to being someone I care, because I truly think Randy's death in Scream 2 changed her for the best, because I was a kid that she knew and was close with. And then she goes back to being that bitch journalist. It's just so stupid. And I'm glad, we're going to show the clip right now. I'm glad fucking Tara sucked the shit out of her, because she deserved it. And her reasoning is that someone else is going to write a book on it. And that's so fucking stupid. Literally, you fucked Gail's character so bad in this movie that you didn't even need her at all. I think what I would have liked, and I told Izzy this, I told other people this, I would have accepted it more if she wrote a book to help clear Sam's and Tara's name. In a way. I know that's still kind of dumb, but I would have preferred if she wrote it to try and help Sam and Tara.
Yeah, because she didn't write it that way, and that's why it was so effed up.
And then this movie really tries to pull a fast one and make us care about her character. After it was revealed that she wrote the book still, I was like, I'm done with her character, dude. Like, honestly, she can just be killed off. And that's the thing. This movie didn't have balls to fucking kill her off. You killed Dewey, and that was a good start. I'm not saying you have to kill all your legacy characters, but with Gail, after this movie, there's literally nothing else for her in this franchise. And I don't even want to see her come back in Scream 7. It's just so stupid. They built her up to die and everything, and all of a sudden, she's saved at the last minute. I just thought, this is stupid.
I really think she should have died. I wish she was written to die. And it's not even just because I dislike her character, but just because her story has nowhere to go, and they already fucked her character. So it's like, why should she live? I don't want her to have a happy ending.
Yeah, I mean, I know that sounds fucked up to say. We love Courtneycox.
We do. No.
Courtneycox is awesome. Yeah, the actor. We know how to separate reality from art, people. But her character only played one role, and that's literally to find the shrine to previous Ghostface. And after that, literally plays nothing else. I'm like, dude, she's done. Just kill her off.
Like, I honestly would have loved if Kirby found the shrine. I think that would have been really cool.
Oh, yeah. Like, if Gail comes back in Scream 7, I'm just going to be like, just kill her off, dude. She has nothing else to offer. Make her the opening kill.
Yeah, if they don't kill her off, then I'm going to be...
Yeah, just or just don't bring her back. Just say she's done with the fucking Ghostface killings.
Yeah.
But then... this movie makes it seem like she can't live her life without a Ghostface killing, which is kind of sad.
Yeah.
All right, and now moving on to our third negative, and Izzy knows how much I fucking hate this. We get the return of Billy Loomis' hallucinations. Now, in our Scream 5 review, it was a mixed feeling for us, because it made sense that she's going crazy. I just didn't like how they tried to make him seem like an anti-hero. I fucking hated that. It's like, do we just forget that this man literally tried to murder hella innocent people? In this movie, he pops up, and I get what they're trying to go for, that is Sam losing her mind. But even then, Billy's still trying to be an anti-hero. It's like, dude, just leave that alone. Like, I get it, you know, Sam's kind of losing her mind, but I just want Billy Loomis to be left alone. And if they keep bringing him up, make sure that we know he's fucking evil and not try to portray him as an anti-hero.
Exactly. Billy doesn't deserve redemption. His story is done.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and then, like, you know, people are going to be like, oh, well, Billy was trying to tell Sam to go kill these people. Yeah, for his own fucking sick pleasure. And it's just Sam losing her mind. But I just don't like the Billy hallucination because it makes it feel a little bit too supernatural, which is weird in the Scream movie that's based on realism.
Yeah, I don't think the whole ghost thing works for the Scream franchise. I wish they would have kept it to the one time in Scream 5, but not in this movie.
Yeah, and the fact that my brother Victor, who's not really the biggest Scream fan, but when he even told me and Izzy that he's like, I don't like the Billy thing, because why are they making this feel like he's a fucking hero? Mm-hmm. And I'm like, dude, if my brother Victor even says that's whack, that's probably a whack idea in Scream 5, regardless, Scream 5 or Scream 6.
Yeah.
And finally, ladies and gentlemen, our final negative with this movie is that, as much as I hate saying it, someone in the core force should have died. Now, in the third act, people are getting fucking stabbed left and right. Mindy gets stabbed on the subway. Chad gets fucking butchered. He gets sticked like a pig. Tara gets fucking stabbed in the stomach. Sam gets fucking shot, I believe. Or she gets hurt somehow. And the fact that no one died, it's just so unrealistic. I know I love Chad, and I would have been fucking heartbroken if he died. Ask Izzy. Like, I had the saddest look on my face when I thought Chad died. But in a way, I would have respected it because it would have progressed Tara's character to a little bit more to be this badass, and she just saw the love of her life die, and I think that would have been good for her character arc to kind of evolve from that and learn from that. And then in the end, it's revealed that Chad lived, and I love Chad, but even then I'm like, oh, dude, what the fuck? I mean, I was happy, you know, at first I'm so happy that he lived, but even then, it's just so unrealistic, especially with Mindy, and then Tara gets stabbed in the stomach. Like, the whole third act, someone should have died, or even Kirby.
Yeah, I feel the same way, especially when it comes to Mindy. It was, especially with being on a dirty subway, it's like, why wouldn't have she died? Like, when did she get help? So it's one of those things. I really do think that Chad or Mindy should have died. And I love both those characters to death.
Like, the whole third act, we said it was underwhelming, but it also played it way too safe because no one died. And maybe they're just trying to save it for Scream 7 for when they do die, we'll be heartbroken. But at least someone important should have died in this, whether it was Gale, Kirby, or someone from the core four. That's just our take from it. And I know you don't have to kill legacy characters or kill people to make a good movie, but if you're being a slasher movie, you also have to have stakes. And just this whole third act didn't have stakes in it. So whenever we rewatch it, it's like, okay, well, we know these people are gonna fucking live.
Exactly. It just felt like we said before. It just felt really overwhelming because nobody died.
Yeah, and it sucks. But you know what? Scream 6 had a strong first and second act, but it's just boggled down by the third act, and it sucks.
Yeah.
Alright, that's going to do it for Scream 6 Revisit Ghostface Takes Manhattan. Now, this Sunday, we're recording our goodbye end of season 1 episode. We're not going to talk about it a lot right now. Just be prepared. We're going to come back sometime in November after we get done with our wedding and honeymoon, but just know that we've had a blast covering this franchise. We love you all. And when we release our goodbye episode, there may be some tears because I love every single one of you. Ty, if you're watching this, man, I love you. Isa, I love you too. You know, like, I met so many cool people on just doing this podcast from TikTok and YouTube, and just subscribers that have reached out and everything. I love talking to everyone. Izzy, she tries to talk to everyone, but I'm mostly the one kind of in charge of it and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But just know that I love every single one of you. And our goodbye episode, it's going to be very touching, and I'm going to have something special for you guys, but me and Izzy love you all so much.
Yeah, we love you guys. And I know I don't see your comments, but we really do love you guys and the community we have built, and we are so glad you guys are here and supporting us.
Yep, and that's going to wrap it for the end of our episode. We'll see you in our emotional goodbye end of season 1 video, and as always, be good people, take care of each other, take care of yourselves, and we'll catch you in the next episode. Peace out, everyone.
Bye.
Beheadings!